Okay, just going to see what happens graphically for our simultaneous equations. So we always take our line first, and traditionally lines have been written in the form y equals mx plus c. They have two intercepts. Those intercepts are found by setting x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. So when x is equal to 0, we get the y-intercept, because 3 times 0 is 0, leaves us just the 4, and we can set the y is equal to 0 and solve and show. So we find the other intercept. The m in front of the x determines whether the gradient is steep or not, and if it's negative, the line is going down rather than up. Mathematically, it makes no difference for the process of solving though. As well as writing in the form y equals mx plus c, we can write the y and the x on the same side. Still a linear equation, still gives a line. The only thing that changes is now if there's a plus on that side, then in fact it's got a negative gradient, and if it's got a minus, then it's got a positive gradient. Makes no difference at all for our process. Alright, if we put a squared on any of the x's, then we get a parabola. Basically, taking a variable and squaring it makes it curve in that direction. If we put them both on one side, we still have a parabola, and we have the same business where if it's a plus, then it's a negative parabola, and if it's a minus, it's a positive parabola. If we square both variables, then it curves both ways, and in the simplest case, x squared plus y squared is a circle. If there's a number put in front of either the x or the y, then the circle is distorted to become an ellipse. If we put a minus there, then we get what's called a hyperbola. Curves again in both directions. You won't often see those. So what happens when we're solving our simultaneous equations? Got a couple of them here, and our answers are 212 and minus 1 minus 3. Well, what happens is the red line crosses the blue parabola in two places. The first one, 212, is 2 across, 12 up. In the context of a real world problem, both the x and the y values will have a meaning. And our other solution is minus 1 minus 3. Most times that won't have a meaning because it often is nonsensical to have either minus time or whatever the x variable is, or minus height or whatever the y variable is. Turning the parabola upside down doesn't make any difference. We still have two intercepts. Using a circle, exactly the same, two intercepts. So each time we're going to get a line, we're going to expect it to go through. One of those is going to have a meaning in context, usually the positive one, and one of them usually won't have a meaning.